stuffed between two bananas with a cherry on top. That's a banana split. I said I was going to do it anyway. The reason why I said this is because a lot of people want to do things in life that they're afraid of. There are many things that you're doing right now that you shouldn't be doing because it's not your purpose. And there's something that's stopping you. And in the personal development field, there's this belief system that we've all bought into that stops us from doing the things that we want to do. Does anybody know what it is? It's called something.
Fear.
Doubt.
Limiting
Close.
belief.
A what?
Limiting belief.
A limiting belief.
Oh.
Every time
Nailed
I
it.
talk to somebody and they say that they're not doing what they should be doing, it's because, oh, I have a limiting belief. I want to be a motivational speaker, but I have a limiting belief. It's always a limiting belief. But I think it's a myth, to be honest with you. I don't believe that it's a limiting belief that stops you from doing what you want to do. It's not the limiting belief in and of itself that stops you. I'll give you an example. Every one of us has had or have had a limiting belief sometime in our lives. Before you learned how to tie your shoe, you had a limiting belief that said, man, I'm going to mess this up. Before you learned how to ride a bike, you had a limiting belief that when you got on, I'm going to fall. Before you learned how to drive a car, you got behind the wheel and said, oh my goodness, I am about to crash. But every last one of us has just admitted that you've had a limiting belief. But yet every one of you has your shoes tied and you drove here this evening. Right? So it's not the limiting belief. The problem is when your limiting belief stops you from moving forward. Whenever your limiting belief stops you from moving forward, that's the problem. See, your limiting belief for tying your shoe didn't stop you from moving forward. You kept going. So did riding a bike. But something special happened when you first learned how to ride. Your belief changed. And a whole new world of possibilities opened up for you. See, before you were walking to the store. Now you said, man, I can drive all the way to my friend's house. A whole new world of possibilities open up for you whenever you move past those limiting beliefs. So now let's get to the mountaintop mindset. Because Jeff, he describes a whole lot of principles in the mountaintop mindset. One of which is to be humble. Because we all dream of success, but it's important to keep it in perspective. Another principle that he talks about is to not crash and burn. We get so focused in our everyday living and being successful and doing the things that we love that sometimes we forget about what's important in life. But I want to talk to you about something special in his book in terms of this mountaintop mindset. And it's about a story that he told in the book. He had a conversation with him and another blogger that he looked up to. And this guy that he looked up to had a very negative attitude. He said that in this conversation, the guy was rude to him. He told him that his first book sucked and that he was never going to be a success. But let me tell you the difference between successful people and poor people. See, successful people aren't worried about what other people think. Poor people are. And the reason why Jeff is here today with his book is because he didn't allow somebody to determine where his life was going to go. So in order for us to have a mountaintop mindset, we have to forget about what everybody else is saying. You have to live for you. And there's another important principle that we have to keep in mind. And I heard somebody say fear was the thing that stops them. And I agree. But it's a specific fear that stops most of us. And it's not the fear of failure. It's not the fear of success. What's the number one fear in the world?
Public speaking.
The fear of public speaking, right? But what is it about public speaking that people would rather be speaking than dying? What is it?
Judgment.
It's judgment. And judgment is wrapped around worrying about what other people think. That's the greatest fear. If you examine any of your lives and try to figure out where you're not congruent with what you really want to do, it's because of what other people are going to say. Man, I would love to be up there speaking like those guys are speaking, but I know they're going to say I suck. I would love to grow up and be a doctor, but my mother always told me I was stupid. We fear judgment. And once we allow ourselves to move past this fear of judgment, move past this fear of what other people are going to think, then we can get to the mountaintop. I told Jeff I wasn't going to take too much time, and I promised him I wouldn't. But I want you guys to take inventory of your life. I want you to figure out if there's any inconsistencies in your life. Because if there is, and you want to go north, Dominique's your man to go. If you want to reach the mountaintop mindset, you can call Jeff. But if you're here and you're satisfied with your standard of living, that's cool. There's the door. But if you're like me, and you notice that there's some things that you can work on, then pay very close attention. Read Mountaintop. Read Going North. And pay attention to what these guys are doing, because these are great examples of where we should be. Thank you.